What's up, everyone? This is Frobomb, taking a break from playing Pink Sweets to check out Hellsinker, a Dojin game from 2006 by Ruminant's Whimper. Came out first via a disc at Comiket and then came to Steam a while later with some nice enhancements. As you can see, you select a few things here before you start a run. You select the way your ship speed behaves, your speed button. You can either have it hold to slow down or press it to cycle through ship speeds. The second thing you pick is the number of lives you start with. And the third thing you pick is the way your auto bomb behaves, which I'll talk about a little later. Then you can choose, after playing for a little bit, you get the option to choose your starting stage. There's 3 different alternate stages that the first 3 levels can, take the form of. And I end up choosing the lead stage, which is, I think, the harder of the options. The alternate stages are what the game starts you out with to maybe kind of get you used to everything. And then it gives you the option to, in the story sense, get up on the front lines of the attack and be a little bit crazier with what the game throws at you, probably for more score potential and stuff like that. So I like the lead level for the first 2 stages, but I actually choose the behind level for the 3rd stage because I think it's more fun to play. I don't like the 3rd lead level. And this run was really just about me enjoying myself. It's definitely not a scoring run. There are 3 different scoring systems to the game. You can see them on the right there: Spirit, Kill, and Token. And I guess if you want to kind of speed run it, you could look at Timer as well. But I'm not going to get too much into what those entail, because frankly, I kind of just ignored them. I didn't study too much into what they mean. I was really playing this game to get the vibes and to kind of get a survival clear of it. I did really, really enjoy myself, so I could see myself coming back. But the scoring is not conventional. I mean, it's not just a number that goes up based on enemies you kill and tick points you get. There are 3 different, very kind of unique ways of scoring a shooting game that the single developer that made this kind of thought through as a way to really elongate the game's life and give it a different feel than normal shooting games, it seems. So I think while the scoring is interesting, it wasn't innately appealing to me in a way that sometimes a shooting game scoring system is. Sometimes I find myself not helping myself, but to score. And this one, I just found plenty of fun and satisfaction in the survival. The scoring, like with a lot of the games like supposed complexity, is there if you want it, but isn't necessary to enjoy the experience. So here's the first boss. Obviously, I haven't even gotten into the game fundamentals yet. I'm using a character called Minogame, who is a very nice beginner character because their moves are focused on giving you lots of invulnerability. You can see I'm not even really dodging bullets here. I'm timing. I sort of am in the macro sense, but I'm timing the release of these attacks to maximize my invincibility up close to the boss because I have an aura around me, both for withholding A, and then if you release, it's like an even more intensely damaging aura that's how you deal damage mainly. And so you want to be up close to everything. In order to do that, you release this circle in front of you that lasts about 2 seconds and is on a recharge. You can see the recharge under the sub-weapon gauge over there on the left. It has to get to 2 charges, and then you can launch the circle. If you don't wait for that to fully charge up, it just launches this kind of weaker set of shots that block bullets, but not for too long, and just in front of you. So it's ideal to wait for that to charge all the time and not let the sub-weapon shot off early, which sometimes you're forced to do. You'll see many instances of me having to do it and kind of be in more survival mode as I wait for my charge. So you balance that move in this particular playstyle, and with this character, you balance that move, the invulnerability bubble, that also damages, I should add, quite a bit, with the bomb move that you see me letting off. And that's on another timer, another gauge up there, your soul gauge, which you can charge back up with these little S items. That's really largely the fundamentals. All the other collectible little items and trinkets that you see falling, I'm not really focused on. I think they're for score. Maybe some of them are for increasing or decreasing your Terra level, which is your rank, or sorry, Terra is not rank, Stella is rank, and your Luna level, which is your shot power. But mostly I'm just ignoring them. I'm picking up the S's for bomb, and I'm keeping an eye on that sub-weapon gauge and the soul gauge on the left, and pretty much everything else I'm keeping in the deep background. I'll talk a little bit about the Terra gauge down at the bottom, and Stella, or rank, you can get down by collecting the little pink items that appear. I'll point one out. You can also increase it if you want to go for scoring by selecting the little green ones. So the game is giving you kind of lots of ability to control the difficulty organically within it, as opposed to giving you difficulty options to start out, which is really cool. So basically I collected a lot of the pink items to keep rank low throughout the run for a survival clear, and that sort of like put the game in easier or normal mode, as opposed to you could collect all the greens and kind of go into hard mode for a tougher and more score heavy experience. Not talking a lot about the moment-to-moment play yet, but I'll start to now that we've got the basics out of the way. Bosses are a lot of the times about dismantling, and often they're really pretty dangerous when you're about to take like an arm off. Like they'll release like an especially intense attack. So it helps to always kind of think about having a bomb charged fully when you break something, a piece of a boss, in full, because you might just want to like be ready for a really intense attack and release that bomb. Another thing, unfortunate death, but it's okay because the game gives you a shitload of extends. You can see I have 5 lives currently. I started with 4. The extends come from collecting the heart items that come out of certain enemies, some of which are like color-coded red, some of which aren't. And you see that necessary number over there? That's just how many hearts you need to get an extend. Look at this. It's so insanely satisfying to just like emit these like massive bombs from your center and like do these like close-up aura attacks on all of this machinery that just that has all these health bars that just crater. Here are some red enemies that are dropping stars, or hearts. I'm sorry, not stars. I think just to note this, I think if you kill these spiral enemies, one comes up at the top right, one at the top left. These right here, I think if you kill them both, you get an extend. That happened to me once, but I wasn't ever able to do it again. It's kind of tough. You have to have everything timed out right. The game is, it kind of has a reputation for being super complex, difficult to learn, lots of mechanics, and that is true, but for the most part, you can kind of ignore a lot of the mechanical depth at first, and if you play this character especially, it's really not bad. I would encourage anyone who's intimidated by it to just open it up and like give it a shot. It doesn't require no learning. It's nice to glance over the manual, and there's another guide that I put in the description that is even better at explaining kind of the basics, but it's nothing that crazy. It really is plenty enjoyable without too much study or keeping an eye on all the gauges, that seem really intimidating at first. And then once you get to know the basics, once you get a feel for it, then you can go into all of that stuff and go the layers and layers deeper that exist. So So look at all this aggro just like up on the screen play. Like this is how I've been playing the entire time, and it's basically how the game demands that you play. There's my other weapon that I make use of sometimes, kind of like a ray force homing in shot, but it gives you no invulnerability, so you'll rarely see me use it because this is just so powerful, the close-up shot. But there are certain instances in the game where it does behoove you to like stay back a little bit, and in those instances, most of the time I've played the stage enough to know to kind of use that other weapon. In this run, it was the first time that I had reached, or maybe the second time I had reached stage 8, the final stage. So that stage is very much played by ear and not routed. But these earlier stages, I developed a set way of doing things because I did play them a decent amount. It took me about, I think, 10 hours to get this clear, including a lot of just experimentation with like learning the basic moves and getting used to them. It is kind of funky. Like you have a straight up shot in this game, but you like rarely use it. The only time it is super useful is at the end when you're trying to get to the true last boss, which I did not do, but I'll explain that. See, look, here's a bunch of enemies that aren't color-coded, but that each one of them drops a heart, and it's basically a guaranteed extend if you can manage to kill a lot of them. If not 2 extends, but... The extend system works like you have to get more and more hearts for an extend to come, but then you can achieve what's called a breakthrough after so many extends where that counter gets reset back to 0. So I'll show you where that happens. Ooh, this is a tough part. This is all about timing the mix of your bomb and the invulnerability circle so that these guys' crazy fast and wonky patterns don't get you. I did a pretty good job of it there. There's also this system where like there's slave enemies tied to a master, and you see those red lines pointing to the master. If you kill the master, all the slave enemies die too. And then also there's a very helpful sealing indicator. If you're up close to an enemy and you're sealing their bullets, the game actually tells you that, which I think is very nice. Somehow the game is very readable, even though it has all of these different things falling all over the place and tons of different colors of bullets and gauges and shit. Like I'm impressed at how easy it is to kind of understand what's going on in spite of everything that's happening. Health gauges for each individual piece of a boss, which I love, by the way. I mean, I think that's like more than half of what makes this game successful in my mind is these health gauges. It's so satisfying to watch them just go down and the different rates at which they go down based on how successfully you're executing your attack. There's an example of a break where I destroyed that wing, and I absolutely needed invulnerability there to get through that insane pattern, so just be careful of stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of it is just staying invincible and being aggressive enough to kill the bosses quickly so that they don't take they don't eat your lives. Right now I'm quote-unquote immortal, which means that I've collected my maximum of 6 extends, and I can collect no more. If you get enough immortal, if you get enough extends beyond that, again, you get a breakthrough, and there might be some other bonuses that occur. There's so much about this game that I don't know, so don't take this as a kind of definitive explanation of the systems and mechanics, because it isn't. I tried another character a little bit, Fossil Maiden, extremely different, equally fun, I would say, to play, but way more difficult. It's not as much about invulnerability. It's more about, aiming this option and all over the place for, multi-directional damage and ability. So I think there's just a ton of variation in gameplay style to be had in this game. This level is kind of fun. It is sort of like easy, I will say. After a while, I like, especially with Minogame, I like was never taking hits in this level, and just you're staying in this maze and you're just making sure to time your wind up attack to and then bombing to take care of all these little things, and they each drop a heart, these little guns. But like something about it again is just like viscerally satisfying, just getting up close to everything and wiping it out. Oh, okay, that was an auto bomb, solid state. So the way my auto bomb behaves, the way I set it, is that I have 3 auto bomb charges. If my gauge is full, 3 times if I get hit in a stage, it will release the bomb for me and I won't take a death. There's a breakthrough. So my necessary hearts needed for an extend are back to what they were at the beginning. And so I was explaining about my auto bomb. So basically that can be extremely helpful. And I haven't experimented with the other ways the auto bomb works a ton, but solid state was what was recommended to start with, and I agree it's really good. Oh man, this boss is crazy. I love this boss. You have this like core that you fight in every phase. This kind of freaky alien-looking gear monster, and you kind of have to get rid of all of his little arms, and then he'll release, or he'll go away, and another enemy will come up, or I don't know if it's just him taking another form. There are those pink gems that decrease your rank, your Stella that I was talking about. And so this guy has like 4 or 5 different unique forms that he'll take, and then he'll come back in this. And watch this, he has these like streaks of fire. It gives you very little time to react to them, but you kind of learn. Oh, did I get hit there? I don't know. I might have gotten... No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I mean, it just... At first it seems impossible to dodge that fire, to dodge a lot of this stuff, and then you just realize, oh man, you don't really have to dodge it. You just, like, you time your bomb and you're in invincibility with this character. It's really not that bad. Just takes some getting used to. Okay, there we go. It was kind of at the bottom of the screen. Since you can only throw your bubble up ahead of you, I chose to use that homing shot. Here's the second form, kind of a Toho-like boss. This is a tough thing to read. Her little like slow-moving pink beam. But eventually I got the hang of it. Something that is a personal difficulty of mine is reading bullets when they slow down. You have this aura that surrounds you that will slow down bullets as long as you have A held as they approach your character, and I just find that really difficult to react to. Like, I almost prefer if the bullets stay at full speed for my own reaction's sake, because like when they slow down, like when they're like meters away from you, it just trips me personally out, and I feel like I get hit more often than if they were to just behave normally. But oh, did I mention? I don't think I did. That same aura that I was just talking about eats bullets, and I believe that's what that's part of what part of one of the scoring systems is how many bullets can you kind of get rid of with your little aura ability. Could be wrong about that. Just kind of regurgitating what I think I remember from like reading the manual and stuff. Here's a more aggressive version of the firearm. Okay, I think this is the last one. This guy's interesting because he eventually starts spraying this giant spread in a clockwise motion, and it's sort of a memo thing. Like, you just have to know that it just goes in a clockwise direction like that, and then you can dodge it. At first I thought it was aimed the first few times I fought him, and I just like got tripped out, but it's not. All right, I think this is the last part. Ooh, I just got the shield off there. Okay, so let me talk about Terra, which is the other, the last gauge I think that I haven't mentioned. It's down there in the very bottom left. If you play shittily, the game knows this, and it takes you to the stage called the Shrine of Farewell, which is basically a boss rush stage where you can get a ton of extends. And the end of the game is hard enough that you do not want to trigger that too early. It's like very, very bad for your run if you do that. So you want to play really well, i.e. take few deaths and kill stuff quickly and get lots of extends, which increases your Terra gauge a little bit. You want to do that for long enough that you can delay that Shrine of Farewell to the end of the game. And so in this run, I do a good job of kind of avoiding deaths and playing well enough. Watch, so I get up here there's a secret where you can just get a ton of hearts right here. And you can see, does that Terra gauge go up? Yeah, there it just went up by 6. As you get an extend, I think maybe it does. I don't know if it does per individual heart. Didn't seem like it. Point being, it was important to delay that Terra gauge getting to 0 until this level. That was kind of my barometer for success. And I think basically it's unavoidable. This level is hard enough that it's like unavoidable for me at my skill level with it, that it was going to get to 0 here. But just that was my goal. Like I did not want to go to the Shrine of Farewell before this is stage 6, I believe. So there's some dodging, a little bit of dodging to be done, but certainly not much. This one has all of these like beams coming up from the bottom that you have to be aware of. It gives you plenty of warning, but you kind of have to, it's just another thing to factor in. Like there's another one. Now it just starts flooding the screen with these guys. Very tricky. Slow moving. Maybe these things are aimed? Can't tell. No, they're just spread. They're just circular outward patterns that kind of overlap on each other. Really satisfying again to play these sections where they're just flooding you with Zako to mow down. The red lasers cannot be slowed down with your little aura, so that's something to note. Alright, so far I've managed to stay at 6 extends and be immortal. I don't know how long that's going to last because the boss of this stage 6 is really tough. Kind of have to do a little movement here to make sure those things don't hit you. No collision damage with anything, which I love. It's a favorite thing of mine. You can just ram all over the place. Something that I didn't mention is that the way that I was timing, the way that I was kind of noting that my circle shield was recharged is via a sound. I don't know if you'll hear it in the commentated version of the run, but it's like a wow wow when the shield gets back up to full. That sub-weapon gauge gets to double charged, and that was crucial because I wasn't looking over there. I didn't really have it in my periphery, that gauge. I would just listen for the sound and launch this thing off basically every time I heard that sound past a certain point in the game, because there was always plenty of things to be try being safe from or to try and kill with it. It's a really manically paced game. Got to be sure to get up there into those tunnels and out through the other side quickly before that pink beam destroys everything within them. All right, really tough boss. At first, I was confused, I will admit, and I thought that the kind of sword thing in the background that has that 98% health bar was something that you had to attack in addition to these robots, but that's not the case. It's that is just kind of the accumulation of the two robots' health, and so you don't need to worry about attacking that sword. These guys have really long, tough attacks, and so they will drain all of your invulnerability, and you'll have no choice but to dodge for a little bit. And so there, I kind of got caught not reading the pattern properly. Ugh. Really fun boss, though, I will say. Lots of stuff like this where it's like creating lanes for you, kind of making it hard to get up close, but you gotta try. And this stuff is crazy. Timing so crucial with like balancing your sub-weapon, shield, and your bomb. Okay, so I destroyed one, I think. Did I destroy one? Maybe? Yes, I did. Ugh! And... okay, and this one is really evil because after this boss, they give you the most insane gauntlet of Zako and mid-size enemies that that the game, you know, has presented so far. It's like you think you're done, and then this lasts for like 3 minutes. Maybe not that long. Maybe like a minute. Yeah, I don't know. Just not good enough. If I don't have my invulnerability, reading this is really hard with you know, without like practicing it and practicing and practicing it. I hadn't gotten here too many times, so this is all just me reacting raw to stuff, basically. Whoa! See how this bullets slow down? I just don't love it. I don't love that. If there's a flaw in the game, it's that for me personally. It's just not a mechanic that I like. But it might be that it's like way too insanely hard without it. Like I know that it balances the game somewhat, but I just still am bothered by it. Can't help it. Okay, so how many lives did I lose there? Oh, I lost a lot. I had 2 lives left. So that's why it's so crucial that you go to this Shrine of Farewell now. So here we go. This is the boss rush. You can select the order. I never really came to understand why I would want to fight some of them before others. Like, it didn't really matter to me. I just selected random every time. And they're all pretty difficult, but you know, you fight them enough. You know, you fight them every run basically. So you will get to know them and have an easier time dealing with what they have to offer. Because no matter what, you're reaching this, unless you tank all of your lives in a single level early on, which is not likely. Okay, almost done. And I should note that it unchains you, quote unquote, from your extends. So like, it doesn't matter how many times you die in this. It's just how well you play it, and that determines how many crystals you get at the end, which determines how many extends you get, is the way I understand it to work. These things are kind of tough, these rocks that you have to kill between every single boss. I would take more deaths to those things sometimes than I would to the bosses themselves. It's just so much shit on the screen, and yet again I find it very nice to look at and very readable. Oh. Okay, I thought that circle thing went all the way in on you. It doesn't. It just kind of locks you in place. The blue crystal gauge top left next to the life max, that's your gauge for how well you're playing and how many crystals / extends you're gonna get at the end of the shrine. These red blood patterns are just warnings for a slash that is gonna come like about a second later, so you can use those to kind of anticipate where you want to be. Oh yeah, I knew one of those clipped me in this run. Those are tough. You gotta get in the middle of the ring before they spread out, obviously. I think I die here again. Oh, yep. That was annoying because, you know, that's not very hard to deal with. Just wasn't locked in. All right. Die rock. Oh, it didn't die. Okay, good. So far, I have been really good about not letting off my sub-weapon too early. I haven't seen a lot of instances of the lesser sub-weapon shield shot. I'll try and point it out when it happens so you can see it. These little wormy paths you don't want to run into. They'll kill you, and they chase you. So you kind of just want to be moving around, but not moving back across them whenever it's possible. And then when this boss is like, when it has this little circle, like a spinning circle, like he does, those things will like bump you, and you'll just fly into a bullet. So it's all moving very fast, and it's tough to like actually think about this stuff while you're playing, but you do end up being able to. Okay, so I got rid of all the bosses, and again, for a while, I thought that the big spinning thing in the background, I thought its health bar was its health bar, and that you had to attack it, but you do not. You just have to get through these falling barrels and destroy them, and that takes its health down. Oh, so I'm playing this terribly. Honestly, I was better. I was better at this part when I thought that I had to attack that spinning thing, because I was like, I think staying up on the stage more. Anyway, it's still fine. I think I probably got back to immortal here. So you collect all the crystals, and I'm pretty sure the red ones give you more, so you want to prioritize that. And I think I get back to immortal. Oh, just barely not. There's a whole story. There's lots of text to read. It's very confusing. I skipped through all of it, as you can see. Not the appeal of the game for me. Okay, this is stage 7. Second to last stage. And this one's a short stage, but a very long boss. And I'm back to full extends. Oh! Nice. I think I had an auto bomb go off there. I'm not really sure. That's very hard to tell. And it also is hard to tell when your bomb is recharged. There's no sound for it, I don't think. Oh, bummer. There's no sound for it, I don't think. It's just shows a little discharge message on your character or next to your character, and it's easy to miss. It was much easier to tell when the sub-weapon was charged up adequately because of the little chime. Oh no, these guys suck. They push you into those blue flames. Really, really tough and annoying. God, I spent 2 lives, but got another back. Got an extend back. Okay, so not full extends at this boss, but not even 6. I have 5, but it's okay. Decent enough. You just got to be really aggressive. You have to really watch this one. This part is kind of hard to read. Those fast little zippy, you know, for lack of a better way to describe them, sperm-looking shots will get you, and they look like they're just aesthetic to me, or they did at first, and I was like wondering why the fuck I was dying. Well, it's those. So you got to watch out for those and dodge them. Otherwise, this isn't too bad. I mean, he just takes a really long time to die. His health keeps recharging from his massive amount of armor that he has, and you just have to, they're staying above him at certain points is advantageous, and then I let off the seconds, or the other sub weapon, getting those pink gems to lower Stella, which is at level 4 right now, which is not the least it could be, so that's not great. Oh! God, really amazing game for just being designed by a dude. Like, so polished, so intense in terms of the amount of stuff that's going on. Oh no, he's frying me. I'm just getting cooked right now. No! Holy shit. Okay. Wow, I really blew it with this guy. Usually I could finish him off slightly better than that, but I guess I was out of position and on tilt with not being able to get my timing back for my bomb and shield alternating. Okay, Spirit Kernel exploded. So this will happen throughout the game. I think it may always happen with this boss, but the other bosses can have the Spirit Kernel exploded thing happen where they become kind of a Hibachi style small hitbox evil manifestations of, or like internal cores of the giant boss, and shoot really nasty patterns and tank your lives. So I don't know what triggers them throughout the rest of the game, or if you want it for score or something, but I definitely did not do well in the runs where I encountered it, so I'm glad I didn't in this run. But then every time after stage 7 boss, I think you have to fight one of those. Ooh, so that took me down to 2 extends, which is not good. And again, I had only played this level 8, 2, maybe 3 times. And I just had no idea what was in store for me, and I kind of thought, well, this isn't going to be the run. Yeah, it's always good to bomb when you see a bunch of those S items, because you basically get your bomb charge back. And do a great job of timing it out here, but there we go, that's what you want to do. Okay, extend, we're back to 3. So it's a good thing to get that breakthrough in the middle of the game, and then kind of try and delay, unless you're going to get another breakthrough, delay getting extend so that you can, you can still have a pretty low number of necessary hearts for your extends in the final part of the game. I was kind of thinking about that stuff by this point, but and I'm sure there's more strategy, more kind of strict routing that can be done, but yeah, it's just something to keep on your radar, that you can have these breakthroughs. And oh, there's another breakthrough. So I guess it does pay to kind of keep getting extends, so you can maybe have that second breakthrough at this exact point, because then now your extends are going to come quicker than they would have otherwise. Whoa! Oh shit! Ah! Hate these fucking red spiny bullets. Hate them. Alright, so begins the kind of end game when the music switches to the title screen music. You got these crabs falling down. Very aggressive. Now you have these mix of these kind of these big turret rocks and the crabs. Oh no, that'll happen. What just happened there was me trying to get my shield off, but I wasn't holding down A, and so it shot my second sub-weapon off. You're going to go through a lot of frustration if you play Minogame with that. You have to really make sure you're disciplined about keeping A held when you're shooting B off for your for that weapon right there, the circle. The button combos are one of the learning curves that's a little bit tougher to kind of manage right at the very beginning. Oh, there was the those little purple bubbles are the shitty sub weapon. They shoot like a little bit in front of you and they block bullets in front of you, but not anywhere else. But it can be useful. Maybe we'll see it again. This isn't all that hard once it's all the crabs. Got 3 lives. Oh, that was a waste of a bomb, but it's okay. All right, so this is Hellsinker, the final boss. If you want to reach the true last boss, which I didn't even know this, I had to look it up after the fact, you have to build up a gauge that you'll see kind of at the top using your... There it is. You'll see it kind of creep up every once in a while, little tick marks. And you can't use your invincibility shot or your bomb to tick that gauge up. You have to... oh, maybe you can a little bit, but it always goes back down while you're recharging. And so really you want to keep a constant stream of fire on the boss. And the only way to do that, or at least the way that I think Pearl did it, because I watched, after I kind of realized it was a thing, I watched his Minogame clear, and he uses his straight ahead shot and kind of sticks to the bottom of the screen for the most part during this battle to keep that meter going up and up and up. And you have to get to level 3. It's at level 0 now, and then you fill the meter once, it goes to level 1, fill it twice, goes to level 2, fill it 3 times, goes to level 3, and then you get the you're granted the opportunity to fight the true last boss. And I didn't, for a game that had me constantly kind of ramming up into things and not worrying about dodging, I just wasn't really wanting to tackle that particular challenge and changing everything that I'd kind of come to learn about my playstyle for this boss. But maybe one day I'll go back and do it. It does look like a cool TLB to fight, and it would be nice to get the real ending of this game. I really liked it a lot, and so yeah, just didn't really feel like doing it this time around and delaying my satisfaction with the clear and stuff. But as you can see, it does give you, if you fight it in the normal way, it's not too hard. It gives you a lot of extend items, hard items. So like every single kind of phase, it spits out 6 hearts. So really, as long as you're careful and you don't lose your balance of shield, bomb, this isn't too bad. It is really neat looking, but not super difficult. There's another extend. I'm actually dodging. Whoa, how the fuck? I don't know how I didn't get hit there. Yeah, see, the gauge doesn't build at all when I'm doing that, so I really think you have to use your normal shooting game shot that I don't know if I ever showed in this entire run. Okay, so this is the game saying, you sucked during that fight, and you're not gonna get a satisfactory ending, but the game will end. Until we meet again, thank you. So that is Hellsinker. Extremely fun, extremely unique. It's not like any other shooting game that I've played in its particular feel. It's not too complicated for you. I can assure you that if you like the way it looks, just give it a try using the character that I did and kind of the strategy, and you might have a really good time with it. And then you might be inclined to explore the other characters and more complex play styles and systems that it offers. It's really, really deep, and it's very, very impressive. Thanks for watching. See it.